Hello, this is David Wales for my final sprint report. So first I'll do a playthrough of the game. So, as you can see, the entire attractor HUD is there. The one thing you might notice is that all of the names for the labels for the high scores are all just the alphabet. That is because I was not able to implement the label entry, but I was able to implement, I believe, everything else. So this is just the tractor mode. Once it dies, blaster resets, wave begins anew. And there's no health taken, no score gained, and none of that. So then we'll go to one player. So now you can hear the sound because I unmuted it. Also see I just put the centipede there. The mushrooms destroy normally. There's a scorpion. I kill it. It poisoned the mushroom. There is some overlap, but I was told on Piazza that we didn't have to implement that. So then there's both the poison mushroom interaction with the centipedes and the spider and how it dies. Here's the flea. Oh, I died. So then the game restarts with one less health at the top, as you can see. And it's the same wave. So then now, try to kill this. I'm not very good at my own game. Oh, and there's the random generation of the solo heads at the bottom once the centipede reaches the bottom. Okay, now that wave is done. You can also see the high score dynamically changed. And then the next wave begins. There's actually another head in there. I don't know if you saw it. But I died. So then the game restarts on the same wave. And just keep on playing like this until, oops, I died. And then the high score that you had there gets changed into the high score at the main screen, and the tractor mode restarts, and then the game restarts. So then from here, I can just press 2, and this is 2 player, so then if I do the same thing, you can also see the HUD's just normal as it is, it's supposed to be. I'll try to kill this wave to get the next, to get the high scores and everything, and show you the wave changing on this. Okay, so that wave's done. Mobs, or the NPCs continue to spawn. Next wave starts. So then, if I die, once they reach the bottom or the spider comes out or something. Also, I'll break some mushrooms so you can see the regeneration effect. I'll show you the poison one, and it stays the same and everything. Okay, here we go. There's the mushroom regeneration. And then player 2. So now player 2 goes. Notice it's the first wave. It's not the second one that the first player was on. And then centipede splitting. The HUD's alright. I'll try to die so I can show you. I'll try to get that. There's also the different scores for the spider. Okay, no, I think I have high score on both of these, so I'll die on them and show you the high score detection, or the changing of the high score on the tracker. Okay, so now I'm player 2. And then when I die, it'll change the high scores on the tractor screen to display these high scores now that these are both considered to be high scores. You can also see that the fields remain the same for each player. So there's the new high scores, the 1210 and the 916, and that's it for this part of it. Now I'll go into the code and show you some of the stuff I did in code. Okay, I'm back. Now before I get into the code, I just want to say, for my labels being gone, I did not feel that I needed to do anything to make up for that, because it's just the labels. It doesn't prevent the player from moving on in the game, and the default names was fine, so that's what I stuck with. Onto the code, though. This is the text document that my wave manager reads off of. So when the wave manager is created, the constructor opens this file and parses through it and stores all of the data within it into different arrays. And then when a wave is about to begin, it extracts the data from all the arrays and then sets the correct values to the correct NPC or whatever is involved. And that's how the difficulty is set. And although I only progressed through the first 2 levels in my demo, the next 4 do work. However, I never have gotten past level 3. So 4, 5, and 6, I don't know if these values are correct. What I mean by that I haven't gotten past level 3 is I haven't gotten past level 3 on the game on the website that we are trying to base our game off of. Past this, though, like, I don't know if these are near correct because I haven't seen these levels on the website version. But onto the code. Throughout all of my classes, I believe that I use a design pattern in just about all of them. For instance, I made a factory for my blaster, my centipede head, as well as the body, explosions, fleas, the laser, mushrooms, scorpions, the spider score display, the 300, 600, and 900 sprite that shows up when you kill a spider, as well as the spider itself. I used a strategy pattern for the blaster, the explosions, and my HUD. And I used a singleton pattern on my sound controller, my score controller, my wave controller, my HUD, my mushroom field, and all the factories listed above. The 3 parts of my code, though, that I think I am most proud of is probably the strategy pattern on my HUD, my centipede, and my wave controller. I liked my HUD strategies because I think that it was fairly efficient. I think that the use of the strategy made it a very manageable system to deal with as well. I really did not have any problems with my HUD other than just silly little mistakes like putting the wrong variable somewhere. The HUD really didn't give me any issues, so I thought I implemented it fairly well, and that's why I'm pretty proud of it. I liked my centipede classes because I think that I probably learned the most out of it. I was able to practice my base and derived classes because I've only really done them like once or twice, and being able to do it here was a good refresher, and it was nice to do. I was also able to use queues to optimize performance, which is something I hadn't thought of, and then you said that you recommended to do something like that, and it made sense. That was a good idea, I thought, so I liked doing that. And while I struggled to put it together, I think that implementing the centipede was a great lesson because I had never really worked on anything like visual before. So being able to work with the centipede, which rotates, and all of the different sprite things, I guess, just it was good to work with, and it wasn't too difficult to do, but at the same time, I feel like it was a good introduction into the sprites and art and stuff like that. And I think that in the end, I had it working fairly well, so I was proud of that, especially considering how much I struggled with it before. Lastly, I'm proud of my wave controller, because this class taught me a valuable lesson about circular dependencies, as I think I ran into like thousands of these. They were a big issue for a while, but because I ran into them, now I know how to plan out my classes beforehand, the next big project I take. I was also able to work with text files, which I've only really done, again, once or twice, so that was nice. I was able to get another refresher on those, and in a applicable manner, something that I feel like is a good reason to use text files and such. And while I am proud of it, I am a little bit disappointed that it kind of started turning into a game manager, which if I had had the time, I would have made 2 different objects, but I didn't, so I guess it's a little bit clustered, but it works, and I commented it all, so I think it's fairly good, so I'm proud of it. I also think that I should have made factories for my explosion strategies, as I have to use new quite a bit whenever I create an explosion. And I think that using a factory might have helped out that and made it a little bit more optimized. My code practices for my deliverable, I think were alright. My project name is Centipede. All my magic numbers are located in my global variables header file. I think I indent everything correctly throughout my code. And I use the base and drive classes as well as methods to consolidate code and get rid of duplicate code. The thing that I'm going to get most out of this, though, I think, as far as my code practices go, is commenting as I go. Because having to go back this week and comment on everything that I didn't comment on as I was coding it was a pain. And I can use that now as a lesson as to why I should comment on the go. And I think that's going to help me a lot. So I think I covered everything, so I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.